Alrighty, Iconix family, my name is Ashley. I'm going to be taking you through a Yoga Pilates flow. It's going to be mostly vinyasa based with a little bit of some Pilates abs incorporated into it. So we're going to go ahead and get started standing in Tadasana. Big toes touching, heels just a sliver apart. And I want you to go ahead and start to lengthen your hands down towards the ground next to your hips with the palms facing forward. Start to root your tailbone down. Start to draw your sternum up as the shoulder blades roll back and down. And start to find a focal point, not really staring at anything in particular. We'll go ahead and start to take a deep inhale. Reach the arms long up towards the sky, maybe gazing up if that's okay on the neck. Inhale, reach a little bit higher. Exhale, lowers your right palm to your right thigh. Start to side bend stretch to the right. Make sure you're still rooting your tailbone down. Protect the low back. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, side bend to the left as the left hand lowers down towards the left thigh. Hold here for an extra breath. Inhale, both arms reach up. Rotate your palms forward, mini back bend. Bend the elbows, heart opens, shoulder blades draw together. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Fingertips can either be on your mat, onto the palms, and if your hamstrings are feeling tight, maybe towards the thighs. Hold here for an extra breath with a nice flat back. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips stay reaching down towards the ground. Heel ball squat, lift the heels, lower your glutes all the way on your heels. Start to walk the hands forward in a nice round spine. Get a deep stretch all throughout your spinal cord. Chin is drawing to the chest. Lower those heels, exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, soft knees. Inhale, reach the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. High extended mountain pose. Exhale, palms to heart center. We'll go through that one more time, flow with movement. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Right hand lowers down to the right thigh. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, lowers your left palm towards the left thigh. Inhale, both arms reach up. Rotate your palms forward. Exhale, mini back bend, heart opens. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back. And then exhale, lower the palms down to the mat, toe ball squat. Lift those heels, lower those glutes to the heels. Hands walk forward. Tuck your tailbone as you draw the navel in. Last full breath here. Exhale, forward fold, heels lower, legs extend. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, high extended mountain pose. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, palms to heart center. Coming into full sun salutation A. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. This time straight into your forward fold, bowing it forward. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back. And then this time we'll exhale, bring both palms to the mat, step your right leg all the way back behind you for a low lunge. Right knee lowers, right toe points. Now I want you to draw your tailbone down. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Now as you draw your tailbone down, try not to overarch into this position. I want you to draw your pubic bone up as you draw your tailbone down. That way you're stretching into your hip flexor without hyperextending into the low back. Lower your left forearm towards the left thigh. Side bend stretch over towards the left. Inhale, both arms lengthen and reach. Rotate those palms forward. Bend the elbows, heart opens, mini back bend. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, lower the palms down to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Once you're in plank pose, separate your shoulder blades, hollow out the chest. Inhale to hinge forward, pausing here. Drop down to your knees. Point the toes, butt stays up in the air. Lower down, chest and chin at the same time. Push the mat away for baby cobra. Shoulder blades draw together. Hold here, you want all 10 toenails pressing firm into the mat, but peel your kneecaps and quads up so legs are strong and straight. Exhale, lower down, flex the toes, push the mat away for 4-point kneeling pose first. Down dog pose, reach the tailbone up and back. Let the head be nice and relaxed. On an inhale, right leg high, keep those hips square. Exhale, steps your right foot through in between your palms. Go ahead and drop the back knee. Point those back toes. Low lunge. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Slowly rotate those palms forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Mini back bend. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, bend the elbows, heart opens. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Last one here. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Slowly lower your palms down to the mat. Flex the back toes. Forward fold towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, both arms reach up towards the sky. High extended mountain pose. Exhale, palms to heart center. Adding on, same thing, second side. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, both palms to the mat. Step the left leg back this time. Lower that left knee. Point those left toes. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Now lower your right forearm towards the right thigh. Side bend, stretch up and over towards the right. Drawing your pubic bone still up, pull those ribs softly in. On an inhale, both arms lengthen and reach. Rotate your palms forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, heart opens. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, lower the palms down to the mat. Flex the back toes, step back into plank pose. Holding here, we're adding on to our back bends. Inhale to hinge forward. Lower down knees, point the toes. Keep the butt up in the air, chest and chin at the same time. Full cobra pose. Draw your chest up. Make sure you're not fully straightening the arms. That'll hyperextend into the low back. Soft elbows, push the palms into the mat, and then towards you, activate the back side body of the arms. Exhale, lower release, flex the toes, push the mat away, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, steps the left foot through, in between the palms, lower the back knee, point the back toes, back into low lunge. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Rotate the palms forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, heart opens. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Last 2 here. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Last mini back bend. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, lowers the palms down. Flex the back toes. Forward fold to the front of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, lower release, toe ball squat, lift the heels, lower your glutes onto your heels, walk the hands forward around the spine. Hold here for another deep breath. And on your exhale, slowly go ahead and lower your sits bones down towards the mat. And then when you're ready, go ahead and meet me lying all the way down onto your back. Once you lie down onto your back, we're gonna go ahead and keep your knees bent. Keep your feet flat onto your mat. Once your knees are bent, we're gonna be setting up for some 100 prep, getting into some core conditioning. I want you to go ahead and lengthen your arms up towards the sky. Rotate your palms to face towards the thighs. Start to press your low back into the mat, and I want you to keep your low back pressing into the mat as we get started. Bring your right leg into tabletop. Your left leg will come into tabletop to meet it. Squeeze the knees together. Inhale to prepare. On an exhale, lower your hands outside the thighs, head lifts, shoulder blades lift. Inhale releases you back to starting position. We'll go ahead and do this a few more times. As we're getting started, if you feel any tension into the neck, one hand can come behind the head. Option for both hands behind the head if you need the support. Last 2 here. Next one here, we're gonna go ahead and stay lifted. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows in your peripheral view. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Keep your knees squeezing together. Exhale, slowly rotate to the right, and then focus on the left hip staying anchored. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate left. Inhale, center, and we're gonna keep going. Exhale, rotate right. Inhale, center. Beautiful form on these ladies. And then I'm gonna go ahead and adjust you if that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and bring your knees directly over the hips. That'll help keep your low abdominals engaged. Last two here. Beautiful. And then next one here. Go ahead and stay lifted at center. Let's go ahead and extend the legs to a 45-degree angle. As long as you can keep your low abdominals engaged, low back pressing into the mat. Inhale, legs lift. Keeping the legs straight, exhale, legs lower. Try not to let your low belly bulge. We'll go ahead and just do that 5 more times. For those of you at home, I promise I'm not trying to kill you. Last 4 here. Nice and slow for 3. If you do this with a smile, I promise it's better. Last 2. Next one here, we're gonna stay lifted. We've got 2 more progressions. I know you can do it with me. Left leg only. Lower it down as low as you can. Slowly go ahead and scissor kick switch. Exhale. This is gonna come a little quicker when you're ready. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. We've got 4, 3, 2. Last progression, hold with the leg extended. I want you to rotate to your lifted leg. And then going quick, this is your last progression. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Try and keep the legs nice and strong and straight. For those of you at home, if this is too intense, or my ladies in practice, you can come into bicycles if that feels a little better on you. Last 3, 2, last one here. Slowly bend the knees, rest the head, knees to chest. We're gonna go ahead and roll all the way up. Swing the legs back behind you, meet me in plank pose. We're gonna stretch the core. We'll come into our full vinyasa. For those of you that are okay in the low back. Inhale to hinge forward. Lower down halfway. Point the toes, thighs, and knees up and off the mat. Full cobra, heart lifts. Shoulder blades glide together. Exhale, down dog. Now adding on. Inhale, right leg high, hips stay square. Exhale, right foot steps through in between the palms, pause. Inhale for high crescent lunge, arms sweep up to the sky. And then if you're really tight in your hip flexors like I am, option to do a soft bend of the back knee. That'll help support you. Same way that we started with. I want you to root your tailbone down as you draw your pubic bone up. Let's go ahead and bend the left elbow, left palm in between your shoulder blades. Right hand, grab a hold of the bent elbow. Slowly start to draw it back. Hold here for an extra inhale. On your exhale, slowly start to side bend to the right. Try and keep the ribs pulled in so you're still not overarching into this pose. Last full deep breath. Inhale, both arms reach up. Rotate the palms forward, mini back bend. Bend the elbows, heart opens. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, lower the palms down. Frame the front foot. We're in runner's lunge, but pause here. I want you to hold here for a deep breath. On an exhale, lengthen your front leg, flex the front foot. That'll help you protect your knee joint. Inhale, bend the front knee, come back to your starting position. We'll go ahead and do that 3 more times just to stretch the hamstring. Exhale, front leg lengthens. Inhale, bend the front knee, maybe lift the collarbone, open up the chest. Last 2 here. Exhale, lengthen and forward fold. Inhale, bend, gentle back extension. Last one here. And then once you come into that runner's lunge, walk the hands to the left side of the mat, meet me in a wide-legged forward fold. All 10 toes are pressing forward, heels slightly out. Now if you want to deepen this pose, option to rotate your fingertips to point back behind you. And you can walk your hands a little further back behind you to push your body deeper into this. And then you have a couple different options. You can hold on to opposite ankle joints if that feels better for you to get a deeper stretch, so you can use your upper body to assist you. Last 2 full deep breaths, letting the head hang heavy, nice and relaxed. And last full deep breath. On an inhale, we'll halfway lift. Your left hand will stay down to the ground underneath heart center. Without bringing your hips with you, inhale, right arm reaches up to the sky. Hold here for an extra breath. Glide your shoulder blades together. Open up a little deeper. Exhale, switching sides. Right hand lowers. Inhale, left arm raises. Hold here for an extra breath. Your inhale glides the shoulder blades together. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands to the front of the mat. You're back into your runner's lunge. Palms stay down. Step back into plank pose. You have the option for full vinyasa or knees, chest, chin for full cobra pose. Listen to your low back. We'll meet in down dog. Nice and slow. Inhale your left leg high, hips stay square. Exhale, step it through in between the palms. Inhale for high crescent lunge. This time, bend the right elbow, right palm in between your shoulder blades. Left hand grabs a hold of the right elbow. Slowly side bend towards the left. This is my bad side. This is where I start to get a little wiggles. Last full breath here. Slowly lengthen your arms up. Rotate your palms forward, mini back bend. Bend the elbows, heart opens. Inhale, arms lengthen and reach. Exhale, lower the palms, runner's lunge. Hold here for an inhale, open your collarbone. Exhale, forward fold, lengthen the front leg, flex the front foot. Inhale, use your breath to move you. Try and go nice and slow. Exhale, flex the front foot, lengthen that front leg. Last 2 full breaths with movement. Trying to go at your own breath, your own pace. Last full breath with movement. And we'll meet back into your runner's lunge. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Meet me back into your wide-legged forward fold. And if you took the first variation, maybe trying holding onto opposite ankle joints for a second variation, using your upper body to deepen this stretch. Beautiful variation on that, Ursula. Inhale to halfway lift. This time, right palm stays down at heart center. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And for those of you at home, if you have a half bind in your practice, option to bend the left elbow, hook it onto your right hip crease. That'll help deepen the stretch in the shoulder. If you're in your arm bind, inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, lower the left palm down, second side. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Option again for that half bind. Bend the elbow, hook it onto your left hip crease. Hold here for an extra breath. If you're in your bind, inhale, right arm high. Exhale, lowers the right palm down. Walk the hands to the front of your mat. You're back into your wide runner's lunge. Left leg steps back. Full vinyasa optional, or we'll meet in down dog. Then when you're ready, inhale, heels high, bend the knees, gaze forward, step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. Big toes touching, heels a sliver apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high extended mountain pose. Reach the fingertips long up to the sky. Exhale, palms to heart center. Last flow through, and then we're coming into cool down. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend the knees, arms reach up. And a lot of the times we tend to overarch in your low back. I want you to slightly draw your tailbone down. Root your body weight on your heels. Make sure you can wiggle the toes, ribs pulled in. And then are you wrinkling the back of the neck? Try and release that, chin is to chest. Slowly bring your palms to heart center. Bring your hips down and back a little further. We're gonna rotate towards the right in a prayer twist. Left elbow hooks onto the right thigh. I like to gaze down at the knees for a moment, just to make sure my knees are level. A lot of the times the left one's gonna wanna come forward. Now check in with your body stance. Make sure your heart is higher than the hips. Hold here for an extra breath, maybe extending the arms. Right hand reaching up, left hand reaching down. Prayer twist over towards that left, nice and slow. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, rotate left. And maybe checking in with those knees again this time, that the right knee isn't jutting forward this time. Heart is lifted higher than the hips. Maybe your last breath, arms start to open, left hand reaching up, right hand reaching down. Slowly come to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, toe ball squat. Lift the heels, lower your glutes on your heels, walk your hands forward, get a deep stretch in your low back. Hold here for an extra breath. Try and breathe through the back part of the lungs and ribs. On an exhale, lower your sits bones down to your mat. Let's go ahead and keep your knees bent. We're gonna sit up for boat pose. Yes, again, more abs. Palms, let's go ahead and bring them underneath those hip thighs. And then let's lift the chest. I want you to keep your feet flat on your mat as we get set up. With a flat back, I want you to start to hinge the body back. Once you feel like your feet are about to lift, that's your stopping point. I want you to bring your right leg into tabletop, keep it there. Left leg will come into tabletop to meet it. If your hip flexors are feeling okay, maybe those arms lengthen forward. Option to extend your legs, but for those of you at home, the goal is to keep your toes at eye level. If they lift up too high, those are your hip flexors taking over. I want you to use a full abdominal connection. We're gonna hold for 5, last 4, 3, slowly lower those legs down, knees bent, take a little rest. We're gonna do that one more time. For those of you at home, if that felt good, stay there, because we're gonna be adding on to make it a little bit more challenging. My ladies, if you wanna add on, we're gonna make it a little bit more challenging. Hands behind the legs. Inhale, lifts the chest. Flat back, hinge back, legs find tabletop. If you want to add on, lengthen your arms forward. We're gonna inhale, lengthen the legs, reach the arms up and overhead. On an exhale, bend the knees, rotate to the right. Left hand forward, right hand reaching to the back of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the legs, arms reach up. Second side, bend the knees, left hand reaching to the back of the mat, right hand reaching forward. Last flow through, we're gonna do that one more time each side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slowly rotate right. We should be feeling those obliques. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Last one here. Exhale, bend the knees, rotate left. On an inhale, we'll come back to center. Crisscross the legs, bring your hands forward, full vinyasa flow. Take it or leave it, we'll meet in down dog. I like knees, chest, chin variation. You use what works best for your body. Exhale, meeting back into your down dog. Now adding on, we're gonna inhale, bring your right leg high. On an exhale, I want you to step it through in between the palms, but pause here. I want you to rotate all 10 toes to point towards the right side of the mat. That right foot, heel, ball, toe to the very center of the mat. And then square off your hips to the right. So your right hip draws forward, left hip stacks on top. I want you to start to lower your hips. Fingertips reach towards the back of the mat, right hand. Inhale, slowly lift the hips, gaze towards the front of the mat. We're coming into gentle hip dips. You should feel a deep stretch in both side body. Exhale, hips lower, gaze to the back. Inhale, hips lift, gaze towards the front. We'll go ahead and do that 2 more times as we're building strength into that left shoulder. Exhale, hips lift. Last one here, try and keep those glutes engaged. Inhale, lift, lower the right palm down, step back into plank, option for full vinyasa. I'll meet you in down dog. Second side, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot through in between the palms. This time, rotate all 10 toes to point to the left side of the mat. Left foot, heel, ball, toe to the very center, and then square off the hips. Left fingertips lengthen to the back of the mat as the hips lower on your exhale. Inhale, hips lift, gaze towards the front of the mat. Try and keep those hips stacked and square. Exhale, hips lower, gaze back. Inhale, hips lift, gaze forward. Last 2 here, using your breath to move you. Last full breath through. And once that left hand lifts, step back into plank pose. Option for a vinyasa, we'll meet in down dog. Once you're in down dog, let the head relax, gaze back at the toes, deep inhale through the nose, open mouth, exhale, release. On an inhale, we'll lift the heels, bend the knees, child's pose for a moment, cooling down that breath, cooling down that upper body. Option to do a gentle rock from side to side if that feels good. And then as you're staying in child's pose, on your next exhale, we're gonna slowly walk your hands to the right side of the mat. Option to keep them on the mat for less of a stretch. If you're pretty flexible in your spine, go ahead and reach them off of the mat. But just make sure you're anchoring that left hip. Nice and slow, let's come back to center on your inhale. On your exhale, hands walk to the left side of the mat. Nice and slow, let's come back to center on your inhale. Peel the glutes away from your heels. Adho Mukha Savasana will meet in down dog. Flex the feet, tailbone reaches up and back. Coming into cool down pose, I want you to inhale, bring your right leg high. Open up the hip, bend the knee, stack the right hip on top of left. Now as you do that, make sure your right shoulder didn't start to lift up with you. Shoulders are still squared towards the mat. Inhale, right leg high, square off the hips. On your exhale, step the right foot outside your right palm. We're coming into low lizard. Before we do so, angle your right toes and knees out to the side. Back knee will lower. Point the back toes. Before we add on, let's just sink the hips low if you have the space available. Maybe lowering down to your forearms. And if you have any props close by, maybe a pillow or some books at home, you can always grab a hold of those books if you don't have a yoga block. Now deepening this pose, option to roll out onto the outer edge of your right foot. As you're playing with this version, you'll notice it's a deeper stretch into your outer right glute med. Keeping the legs the same, let's start to lift the chest, stack the palms underneath the shoulders, and then your left palm, so we have space for the left shoulder, bring it slightly in front of the left shoulder. Rotate towards the right palm can either come onto the right knee, you can push it away from you. Option, if you have the flexibility in your hamstring, bend the back knee, right hand grabs a hold of the back of the foot. I know, some of us are like, I don't know about this pose. As we're coming into this pose, instead of pulling onto the foot deeper, try squeezing your left glute more. That'll help deepen the stretch into your hip flexor and quad. Last full breath here. And then slowly release the foot without dropping it down, release. Right palm lowers, flex the back foot, step back into plank pose, and then right leg reaches up and back, shake out that right leg. And then lowering your right foot down, second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Open up the hip, bend the left knee, stack the left hip on top of right. Inhale, squares off the hips. Exhale, steps the left foot outside the left palm. Make sure the knee and toe is turned out. Drop the back knee, point the back toes. An option to sink the hips lower, and if you have the space available, again, lowering down to your forearms. Then maybe again, rolling out onto the outer edge of your left foot, stretching out that left glute med a little deeper. And then setting up for monkey pose, stack the palms underneath the shoulders. Right palm this time, slightly out into the front of the right palm, or right shoulder. We're gonna rotate to the left hand, push the left knee away from you. A lot of the times this bottom shoulder is gonna wanna round forward. Try pulling that shoulder blade back and down. Beautiful adjustment on that, Ursula. Left hand, if you have the space available, bend the back knee, grab a hold of the back of the foot. This time, right glute, squeeze it a little deeper. Last full breath in this pose. And nice and slow, relax that foot back down. Palms lower down. Let's go ahead and step back into plank pose, straight into down dog, shaking out that left leg. And then lowering that left foot down, however you'd like to get there. Inhale, lifts the heels, bend the knees, swing the legs forward in front of you. Maybe seated onto your sits bones. Lengthen the legs forward. Now as you lengthen those legs forward, I want you to flex the feet. If you need to sit up on a pillow or a yoga block, we will be here for a few seconds. Lengthen your arms up. Seated forward fold, exhale forward fold, yogi toe lock. Hook your peace sign fingers on your big and second toe. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the elbows, get a little deeper into this fold. Let the head relax. And then you should feel a deep stretch, not only in your hamstrings, in your low back, as well as the upper shoulders as you keep bending your elbows. Keeping your yogi toe lock. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale, slowly release as you stack the spine. And we're gonna go ahead and lengthen your arms forward in front of you if you want a little bit more core, but we're meeting lion on your back. Nice and slow, start to roll the spine vertebrae by vertebrae all the way back down. Relax your head. Happy baby pose. Grab a hold on the outsides of the feet, flex the feet up towards the sky. Tuck your tailbone, maybe drawing a rock from side to side. And then nice and slow, keeping your knees bent, relax your feet down onto your mat. And we're gonna go ahead and come into an easy spine twist. Before we do so, reach the hands out into a capital T. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Flex the foot. We're coming into a figure 4 spine twist today. Go ahead and roll the legs to the left. Your right foot is trying to be flat onto your earth. Maybe starting to gaze over your right shoulder. And here we want the hips to just be nice and relaxed. That way you feel a deeper stretch into your outer right sits bone. If I have any runners or cyclists that are taking class, this one's a really great stretch, not only for spinal mobility, but also good for opening up those hips that we tighten. Nice and slow, let's go ahead and bring it back to center. Uncross the legs. And then second side, left ankle crosses over your right thigh. Make sure the left foot is flexed. Legs will roll to the right. Left foot is trying to be flat onto the earth. And maybe gazing over your left shoulder. And then nice and slow, let's come back to center. Go ahead and uncross the legs. Bring your knees tight into your chest. Gently pick your head up, pick your shoulder blades up. And then I want you just want to hug your knees tight into your chest, curling up into a little ball. Exhale, tugs a little deeper. Exhale, tugs a little deeper. Slowly release Savasana. Lengthen the legs out to the side. Palms extended out towards the sides. Gently start to soften your eyelids. Let your eyelids roll to the back of the socket. Release your tongue off the top of the roof of the mouth. Maybe releasing any tension into the jaw we built up through practice. Let your throat melt. Eyebrows in between the space start to soften. Let your shoulders naturally curl in towards each other. Let your fingertips naturally round towards one another. Hips will sink and relax a little deeper as the toes melt into the earth a little bit more. So we're holding this pose. We'll only hold for about a minute or so. If you have time for a longer hold, please go ahead and take it. Slowly go ahead and take a deep inhale through the nose. Starting to slowly wake up the body. Wiggle the fingertips, wiggle the toes. Maybe rolling your wrists out, ankle joints out. Massaging your head from side to side as if you're saying no. On your next inhale, let's lengthen the arms up overhead and point the toes like you're waking up for bed. Keeping your arms up overhead, inhale, bends your knees and roll over onto your right side, using your bottom bicep as a pillow. Slowly using your top left palm to help you sit up to an easy seated pose, we'll go ahead and face the front of your mat. Sitting up nice and tall as we bring your palms to heart center. Softly closing the eyes. Last deep inhale through the nose, getting a little taller in the spine. Thumbs come in between your eyebrows towards your third eye. Bowing forward. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for letting me lead you through this practice.